Well, my hat's off to Ball State. They came in and they beat us. They ran the ball down our throat, and our defense was out on the field, for a very long period of time. I think they had over 80 plays, and we only had 65. They did an excellent job of doing what they wanted to do, and we turned the ball over in the first quarter. We didn't get off the field. Well, we couldn't sustain any drives, didn't do anything on offense to help move the ball and protect our defense. And that's what happens at this level. They were able to get some things done in the second half offensively, and they did a much better job than we did. So congratulations, Ball State.
Questions?
What were the issues running the ball that how did it affect what you were trying to do with the time?
I won't be able to tell until I know that they were blitzing. They were doing a cross blitz in the middle. They were bringing first down. They were bringing saw blitz. They decided to be real aggressive. We kind of figured that that's what the MO or the coordinator was, and we were just unable to run the football, which is very disappointing to me because I felt like we had a pretty good fall camp running the ball, and I felt that we had the ability to run the ball. We just, for some reason, we weren't able to do it tonight, and we've got to as coaches, get a grasp on why that's going on, because there's too much talent on the offensive line for us not to be able to run the football.
How would you assess how Connor did?
There was he made some good threat plays, but there were some things that we wish we had back, and I'm not going to put the blame on Connor Manning. It's not Connor Manning's reason that we lost. If it's anybody's fault, it's my fault. So it's not a player's fault. There's just things we have to do differently, and it's still, there's still competition at the quarterback position to figure out who is going to end up being the leader and lead our team in getting us in the right plays and making the right throws and making the right adjustments that the quarterback does.
Coach, what explanation did the refs give you when that personal foul when the touchdown was called back?
They said that our Penny Hart taunted. He said he turned around and pointed at the DB and taunted him. I didn't see that. I didn't. Maybe he did.
So he said he did that before he crossed the
They said that he did it at the 2-yard line or wherever it was. They said he turned and looked at the guy that was chasing him and pointed at him. But I didn't see it. The referee on my side didn't see it. That had nothing to do with it. I mean, we ended up scoring on that series anyway. So, that had nothing to do with it.
What was Ball State doing that was preventing y'all from going to the same type of medium and long range passes that you were able to hit last season?
Well, they were blitzing. Yeah, and so you got to get the ball back in your hand. Anytime they bring more, when you have back there protecting, you got to get it out. So I got to go look at the film and see exactly what it was. But from in the box, guys were telling us, what the blitzes were, and we ended up getting a pretty good beat on them. We just didn't execute very well, and we didn't play good football. So, if anything, that's on me for them not playing well.
Well, we talked quarterbacks. What about Aaron's performance? What do you see? Well,
He ran the ball pretty well, but there were some things that he's got to do, because there was a couple times he should have thrown it to a guy rather than run it. We're now you're seeing what it's like life without Nick Arbuckle. There's growing pains, and I still feel very confident in those two guys and what they can do. And as coaches, we've got to do a better job of getting them to perform better. Period. Yes.
What moment did you decide to become a player?
Oh, we talked about it at halftime, and I didn't want to make the move right at the half. I think sometimes that sends a bad message because it made it look like we were putting the blame on Connor, and that wasn't the case. So we felt we needed to get him in there in the second series, in the second half and get going. The plan was at halftime that we were going to play him. It's just win, and so we put Connor out there, and then we went to Aaron.
So did Connor know before the game he was going to play all 4 quarters?
Oh yeah, we've talked about playing the guys. Yeah, everybody in that locker room knows that Aaron Winchester was going to play. It's just when we got him in there. Yes, sir.
What would you say was the biggest issue for you guys tonight? Was it the mental mistakes
mistakes and the penalties? Was it the not being able to consistently stop the run, or do you think it was something else?
Well, penalties, I mean, we had 6 penalties. That's less than what we averaged, or last year. So we reduced there, and they had 5. So it wasn't penalties. I mean, you know, they did a really good job of blitzing us, and, you know, we have 2 new quarterbacks that are playing, and, you know, it was difficult for them. I thought our defense wore down. I thought they were on the field. I mean, they played 80, I think that's it. I don't have my reading glasses. I think that says 80 something, 81. So, I mean, our defense played 81 plays. They got a little gas there at the end, and they were on the field for long periods of time. But that's not an excuse, because I think they're in great condition. It's just when you're out there playing a game and then somebody's beating on you, it's, you know, it makes it a little different. So, you know, our inability to run the ball, we had 2 yards rushing at the half. We had 2 yards rushing at the half, you know. And the only reason we got more than that is because Aaron Winchester went in and ran the ball. So there has to be a way to run the ball with our tailbacks and get positive, you know, more than 2 yards and a half. I mean, that's, you know, that's something. And if you want to blame anybody, blame it on me. Yes, sir.
The first quarter, you were at the goal line and you decided to go for it instead of going for the field goal.
I don't remember being at the goal line. It would have been about a 42. We weren't at the goal line. It would have been over a 40-yard field goal. We discussed it all week. Or for more than a week, we discussed it. We have a brand new kicker. We have a brand new holder. And we knew that if we got into a certain situation where it was 4th and 3 or less and the ball was from the 35-yard line going in, we were going to go for it early in the game because we were very confident in what we were running. And if we ran the play the right way, we would have gotten the first down, but we didn't run it the right way. So we didn't get the first down. But that was a decision that was made weeks ago. You know, we wanted to break our kicker in slowly. He's never played in a game before. And I didn't want to put him in that situation when it was 4th and 2. And we were very confident in what we were running on offense to be able to get that first down. And if we just executed it the right way, it was there. We didn't do what we were supposed to do. So.
Why did you have to call the timeout before that? Was it wrong personnel on the field or too many or what happened?
Yeah, it was. They didn't. I mean, it's, again, you know, you get in the heat of the moment, and all of a sudden your mental processes start shutting down. And you know, we had the wrong personnel. We sent in the right personnel, but somebody that was supposed to come off the field didn't come off the field.
So you had trouble there?
Well, it could have been. Somebody ran off, but it wasn't the right guy. Yes.
In that play, were you not concerned that having a mirror at quarterback was a bit of a giveaway as far as what you plan to do?
That wasn't what we were going to do. We didn't we didn't execute the play the right way. So yeah, we wanted people to see the mirror at quarterback. Yes, sir.
What's your overall assessment of the special teams as far as being able to keep their yardage down while making ours a lot more than that, almost 3 times what they got to do?
I don't quite
As far
understand.
as kickoff return yards,
Kickoff return yards.
yes.
What's so good about ours?
Yeah.
Because you had Glenn Smith back there.
Well, there's the ability to stop them, because last year that was a couple issues sometimes, just giving them big plays.
For us?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we've got, we're more talented on the kickoff team. We've got pretty good athletes who can run down there. You know, and I thought they did a good job. They never gave up a big one. And, you know, we were able to get returns because Glenn's pretty good. You know, so I can't fault our special teams. You know, we dropped that punt down there at the end. You know, we bobbled the snap, but the snap was snapped too soon. And, you know, there was a few things, but I think that for the most part, Brandon Wright punted the ball well, except for maybe 1 or 2 punts. I think there was 1 he shanked, but other than that, he punted it well. You know, that's really about it. Yes, sir.
It was the 4th quarter. It was 24-14, and you could see Bobby Baker yelling at his defense after they scored that other touchdown, getting that team hyped up, saying that they're not going to give up any more. You know, seeing that leadership that he still has in the game in the 4th quarter. Are you missing that on offense?
Well, anytime you take away the player of the year, you know, from the conference and a guy that went to camp with the Steelers yeah, there's gonna be a little drop off, and there's gonna be a drop off in leadership when the two guys that are taking a spot are just trying to find their way and figure out how to play, let alone lead anybody. I mean, that takes a lot of confidence, that takes a lot of experience to do. So our leadership has to come from other areas until those guys get comfortable at that position. Yes.
Does losing this game at home against a team you beat last year and were favored to beat this season kind of undo any of the momentum the program built last year?
No, I mean, it's one game. It's one football game. If everybody wants to give up on us because of one game, you know, then that's their fault. These kids will respond, they'll fight, they'll gather together and come out fighting and continue to keep working and getting better. I mean, you know, that's just the way it is. I mean, you know, we've got good kids that are in there that will find a way to rebound and be resilient. So you're not going to sell the ship, sell the house just because of the first game. You know, we put a lot of stock in it, but at the same time, you know, we've got a lot of questions that we need answered from within our team and figure out who we really are. We've got to come out and forget about everybody patting them on the back going into the game, telling them, oh, they've arrived, and they've got to go in and they've got to buckle up and we've got to play better, we've got to work harder, and we've got to coach better.
I wanted to ask you about Jerome's tonight, especially at the very beginning of the game, first two defensive possessions. Maybe see if we can get an update on
Well, McKinley has a high ankle sprain, so I don't know how long that will be. I thought Jerome did some really good things. Great to see him, you know, catch through, you know, make the interceptions, make the plays. The problem is, you know, you get that momentum and you get those plays and you don't get enough from it. But I thought, you know, just from what I saw on the side, he played well. You know, he looked like he had good coverage, and he's a good football player. So he did a good job of keeping his head. So now, you know, we've got to do a lot better. We've got to play harder. We've got to execute better, and we've got to execute better on offense.
Was there anybody else that stood out to you, maybe somebody on offense and somebody on defense that really kind of shined? I mean, not sure about the stat sheet.
Yeah, you know, I thought Robert Davis, you know, was Robert Davis. I mean, he ran well after the catch, and I'd like to have seen him get the ball more. You know, that's something, again, we've got to look at and make sure that, you know, right guys are touching the ball. I thought every time Keith Rucker touched the ball, he made a play. You know, but again, until I watched the film, obviously we didn't do enough, or I can't sit here and brag about everybody. We got beat. You know what I mean? So that's the major thing. The end result is that we lost the football game. Didn't matter whether it was 31-21 or 31-30. It didn't matter. We lost, and we've got to understand that. We've got to be better for it and move on. Thank you.